of mine. I call it Hope. So anyways, thank you all so much for coming out this evening. This is the culmination of nearly 13 years of musical study for me, beginning back in kindergarten when I was 5 and first started taking music lessons on the piano. So naturally, piano is a very important part of my life, and I'm so excited to have the opportunity to share that with each and every one of you tonight, and I hope that you enjoy this as much as I do. So, aside from all of you for coming, a couple more thanks are in order. First of all, to Bob Baker here at Classic Pianos for providing us this excellent venue and this awesome piano that I get to play on this evening. So let's give it up for Bob. Secondly, I'd like to thank my grandmother who bought me the piano, my first only piano, the piano that I practice on to this day. And has contributed financially to a great many of my piano lessons. So, Mana, if you would stand up. And last but certainly not least, thanks must be extended to Lisa Downing, my current piano instructor, who has inspired me and encouraged me in so many different ways when it comes to music here. And I can honestly say that I have never been more excited about music than I have been in the last year and a half since I started taking lessons with Lisa. So, if you'll stand up. Thank you all once again. So, naturally, you're here to listen to me play music, not talk. That's at the debate tournament this weekend. So, I've got some pieces to play for you. The next one I'm going to be playing for you is another original composition of mine, born out of a lot of improvs that I've been experimenting with at the time. I was studying some cool new things in music theory, and I wanted to try to incorporate them in the music. And so I kept on coming back to this theme in all of these different improvs. And I really liked it, so I took it and built a song around it. But I was struggling to come up with, what the song was actually about. And I kept returning to it, so eventually I decided to play it for my piano teacher and asked her what she thought. And she said she saw, when she heard the music, a path stretching through the mountains or through the wilderness, through some stretch of man-forsaken nature. And along the road in the far distance was a man, a lone man walking. And she said that, and I realized, holy cow, that's exactly what I'm thinking every time I play this piece. It was the most bizarre and inexplicable feeling that I've ever had. And so anyways, I think that's what this piece is really about. It's about that road that we all must walk down, those roads that we have to tread alone, by ourselves. Something that's incredibly significant to me as I get ready to move on with the next stages of my life. So perhaps, as I play this next piece, you'll have felt something similar, whether you were walking down a literal path by yourself and experiencing the vastness of nature and the freedom you had in exploring it, or whether it's some new exploration you had in your own life. So anyways, this next piece is called The Path. to be playing for you this evening is not an original. It is a cover that I arranged after hearing another piece of music. I have a really good friend that I've known since I was very little and lived in a different state named Cole. And Cole is very into anime, which are Japanese cartoons. And so Cole one time asked me to watch an anime with him, and I said, sure. We couldn't find an English dub of it, so we watched it, and I'm not kidding, he literally translated it out of Japanese for me as we went along watching the show. It was insane. But at any rate, he also offered to show me a piece of music from one of these animes that he liked so much. And I heard the piece of music and I was instantly captivated by it. I thought it was mind-blowing. You know, on the one hand, this next piece of music is really simple and it doesn't have as much to offer musically as a lot of other pieces. But at the same time, I think it's a really good reminder that sometimes some of the simple things can be some of the most profound and inspiring. Yes, there's a lot of gray area in life, but there also is definite black and white. There's objective good and real evil, and those two ideas must conflict, and it's important to remember that. And so this piece, I think, is about that inherent conflict, about heroes fighting villains and good versus evil in very simple black and white terms. And as befits its theme, this next piece is called Fairy Tale. Piece I'm going to be playing for you is another original composition of mine. It's, well, as a lot of you probably know, my favorite time of year is the fall. My favorite season is autumn. I love the rain and the slate gray sky and the trees that start to burn with that gold and rust color, and the smell of the leaves on the ground with the dew, and then the sunsets that turn that gray sky almost a violent shade of pink. The fall is my favorite time of year. And you know, I like to go out and walk in the autumn air and just kind of experience it, breathe it in. And it always reminds me, or makes me think, that even though winter is coming, the world has some last gasp of brightness, of color, of red left in it. A last breath of summer is being exuded by everything as the autumn comes on. And so this song is about that autumn nighttime, the fall and the sunsets, and more than that, the sunset for the whole world as we move into winter and away from the summer, move into colder, darker times. But it's a reminder that there's good times yet ahead and that the bright summer isn't quite finished yet. This next piece is called Autumn Nocturne. more piece of music to play for you before intermission, so rest assured, snacks will soon be available. At any rate, this next piece of music, it was actually introduced to me. I was in a car traveling with my debate team, and Brandon's actually here right now. Hi, Brandon. Brandon has a similar taste in music as I. We like to listen to a lot of soundtracks and film scores and video game music. And so at the time, I was probably, 13 or 14, and we were talking about music. And he said, "Have you ever heard Dragonborn?" I was like, "No, what's that?" And he was like, "You should go listen to it." And I was like, "Okay." And I went and listened to it. And then I bought it on iTunes, and that afternoon I listened to it probably for the better part of 3 hours on repeat. I loved this piece of music, and to this day it's stuck with me as one of my favorite pieces of soundtracks ever composed. It's the theme song from the video game Skyrim, and it takes on that theme of that battle for good versus evil that we've already addressed a little bit, but makes it a lot more personal and intense, and in a lot of ways darker in a sense. You see, in the video game Skyrim, your character is the one tasked with ridding the land of the evil dragons. But at the same time, the only reason he has the power to do that is because within him is the soul of a dragon itself. And so it deals with not only that conflict of good versus evil on the surface, but that battle of good versus evil within each and every one of us. Plus, it's just a totally epic piece of music. So, I hope I do this justice. This next piece is by Jeremy Soule, Dragonborn.